English with deck. You know, noodles are absolutely phenomenal. Of course, I tried them before being in Asia, but the uh, the variety of noodles available is absolutely outstanding. You know, of course, fresh is better, handmade is better, homemade is better, la di da di da. But there's definitely times when something instantaneously available is desired. It's better, you know. To put it simply, it's better. Of course, I'd say in England, for example, we definitely have the cup noodles, the instant noodles. But firstly, the variety is not that large, and also, I'd say the quality is pretty meh, like pretty not so great. Right now, I'll just say it's a bit small, but I'll just take some wonton min mame size uh, pot noodle, cup noodle, and it's good. It fills a hole, you know. It fills the space that needs to be filled in the belly. So I will be okay now for another hour or so. It gets the job done. But it tastes all right, you know. It's not amazing, but you don't go in thinking that, you know. Um, and you know, I think as a parent, you know, obviously I hope to my kids will always eat, let's say, fresh fruits and vegetables, fresh foods, handmade food, homemade food, etc. Like that again. But sometimes, like I said, it's just more convenient. It's more accessible, so it just works better at that in the moment. And honestly, you know, I think in moderation, things like instant noodles, a bit of chocolate here and there, a bit of candy, whatever, it's not the biggest issue in the world. In moderation. Um, and you know, like I let my kids have a couple of instant noodle every now and again. You know, it's not every day, it's not every week even, but occasionally. Either there's just that, you know, the a hankering for the instant noodle, or maybe just because of the time constraints at the specific time. Um, yeah, it's just the better option to put it simply. Hmm. And then talking about my daughter actually. What I wanted to talk about today was, oh my gosh, you know, one of those moments. You know, it's like, well, let me start from the beginning. So the other day, she came home from school, and they were doing some sort of rehearsal for an event, actually for the graduation ceremony. Anyway, so obviously they have to do it in a sort of order, you know, so their name gets called, and then the kid behind the kid whose name's just got called will then stand up and wait his turn, in this case. It might be slightly different depending on the school and the age, but anyway. And obviously they have the order to follow, and there's the sort of the manner, you know, especially in Japan, they do the whole bow, and they receive it in a specific way. Take it, step back, bow, etc. And yeah, it needs to be well rehearsed, you know. If everyone is doing it properly, and then there's one or two kids who don't, they stand out. And I don't mean that in a bad way about standing out. Standing out is fine, of course, but it looks sloppy. And you know, I think overly regimented isn't always the best. But hey, I think after seeing the graduation ceremony, I thought it was very slick. You know, very well organized, and I get why the teachers put so much pressure on, or emphasis, should I say, so much emphasis on properly rehearsing. Anyway, so my daughter I think it was the day before the graduation. So they're rehearsing, and then my daughter sort of slouched in. Apparently, she slouched in her chair, just like, blah 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 to her friends, and then the teacher says, "Oi, Well, she didn't say oi, but you know, you get the picture. She's like, hey, daughter's name. We call her Elle. Hey, Elle, what what are you doing? Do you know? You've got to practice today. You've got to practice now. And then my daughter's reply. Oh my gosh, it was literally to the teacher. I already know how to do it. I am fine. My teacher's mouth was just like, wow, okay. So obviously that caused a bit of a ruckus, you know? That kind of straight talking. Yeah, I it caused a. There was a lot of ums and sucked air happening. And then when my wife picked her up that day, she was told, and my wife was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." Because obviously, you know, you don't say that to your teacher. You shouldn't say that. You know, the teacher wasn't being rude. The teacher was simply making sure my daughter knew what she was doing. And you know, I'm sure as kids, we did stuff similar. You know, kids don't mean it badly a lot of the time, but but it shouldn't happen. And you know, it's just like, oh my gosh, why would you say that to the teacher? You know. So my daughter got home that day, and I was just like, I wasn't even mad. I couldn't even be a bit even annoyed. Actually, I was just like, I was kind of shocked, and I thought to myself, well, why did she do that? And then I was thinking in my head over the evening, like, you know what? No, we talked about it over dinner and just after dinner as well. And I think we got it through to her quite quickly that, and she knew, I think, actually, straight away, actually, that it wasn't a good thing to do. You know, kids say things, yeah, it happens. Slip of the tongue. Great phrase. And it really got me thinking, you know, what was I like as a child? Because I'm going to guess I did the exact same thing, probably multiple times, causing horrendous amounts of stress for my parents. And, you know, it really brought home how much, well, stress, but not in a very argumentative way, but um, how stress can be caused just from so few actions, literally. So yeah, just to be careful of how we hold ourselves and compose ourselves around our peers and especially in front of our superiors. That was my takeaway from that. But anyway, I'll obviously fill you in on the next time something happens, which I'm sure it will. It's unavoidable. You know, kids are kids. But for now, that is all for today. So yes, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a fantastic morning, splendid afternoon, and a wonderful evening. And anyway, that's all for today. So bye for now. See you in the next one.